All right, what's up? What's up? Probably gonna be some ugly ass niggas mad today. I gotta keep it real. What's good with your buckets? Michael, you ugly as hell. Michael Branford, whoever the hell you are. What's up? What's up with DeMarcus? So was that one. Shout out to my boy, Grant 21. Let's talk the bucket. Yep. So I actually got some interesting shit on here. Trying to give folks some time to come in here. Yeah, I got some interesting stuff here. And I want people to, especially if a young disciple comes today, I got some fun today. I got some interesting takes. Starting with LeBron James is not the best 40-year-old we ever seen. We gonna use what y'all use to help prove it. So we got the best 40-year-old player we've seen in the NBA. Then we're gonna talk Kobe versus LeBron, because I've been seeing more Kobe disrespect continue to surface. And we're gonna kind of break down a little bit more of why. Okay. And I'm pretty sure it's gonna be people coming in support of LeBron. So I would love to hear y'all take on why you think LeBron is better. Let me know. Then we got to deal with this atrocity, this bullshit that the Bleacher Report, they top 15 purest scores, which is absolute bullshit. We got to talk about that. And then lastly, we're going to dig into why analytics are wrong. So basically, but from a numbers standpoint, it's correct, but it's very manipulative. Like a lot of the time, by the numbers, you'd be like, oh, okay, well, numbers, because you know how they love to say men lie, women lie, numbers don't, right? But here's the problem. When it comes to that, people are also able to use these same numbers to manipulate things to make you believe something that isn't true. Because, like, for instance, if you're looking at strictly from a numbers standpoint, Luka Doncic is better than LeBron James, people. I'm gonna wait till we get to that topic to jump a little further, in that of what we're talking about. But yeah, we're gonna dig into it. So I'm gonna give it like one more minute. If I got any LeBron supporters, please jump your ass on in here so I can get ready to cook you. What's up with you, Golson? Shout out to DeMar. He said, Michael, stop trying to impersonate me and copying my style. Be original. Well, one thing for sure is he absolutely has everyone thinking that is DeMarcus. So he's very good at impersonating. I'll say that. That's the case. Appreciate the super chats too. Yeah, yeah. Um, Roblox girl, what's good? So we've been out here long enough. I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So, who is? Matter of fact, first I'm gonna ask the chat, and I mean, it's no wrong answers here. Obviously, what I'm about to reveal is still opinion based, but I'm curious of to you guys, who is the best 40-year-old player that you guys have seen in the NBA? Like I said, again, there's no wrong answers. If that's what you feel, unless you just come out with some absolute bullshit, then I'm gonna say, hell, nah, you ain't glad wrong. But just give me you guys pick. Obviously, we have a damn good 40-year-old player playing in the league right now. So I'm sure a lot of people. Okay, so he just said LeBron. But here we also have some other 40-year-old players that played in the league that was also pretty damn good. I'm gonna give it another minute to see if anybody else want to cast their vote on who they believe it is. Is it anybody else? You believe it's LeBron? Fine, but like I said, it's two other people, in my opinion, that you low key could argue is the best 40-year-old player as well. So he said LeBron James did a great marketing tool by Bronny James having Jordan Olympic numbers and LeBron James rocking. Yep, he definitely did that. So you is Michael Jordan. That's another one that is a very, good pick. And I'm gonna tell you guys later on why Michael Jordan is also a good pick. I know the media, the love media led media would love to tell you guys it's LeBron James. It's not even close, but that isn't the truth, and we're going to deal with the facts here. I kind of should have dropped this one to be last, to be honest, because once I get done with the rest of these topics, this one right here, the answer to this is probably going to make a little bit more sense. But I mean, it's good like this too. But so nobody else. So we got LeBron James so far and Michael Jordan. I'm gonna throw out a third name. The third name I'm gonna throw out is Karl Malone, people. So let's go ahead and pair the three. We have LeBron James, who's currently playing. He's averaging what? He's 41. He's averaging like 22 points per game, I believe, right now. Let me pull up his stat line. Let's pull up LeBron's stats right now. So this is LeBron's stats right now. Currently in this season, he's averaging 20. Okay, a point less than I thought. 21 points, 51% from the field. What's that? 31 from three. Pretty bad. 75 from the free throw line. He actually increased a little bit with that because he started out pretty damn bad. 6 rebounds and 7 assists. Actually getting a steal and a half a game and 0.6 blocks, along with 3 turnovers. And he's finessed his way up to get his plus minus to 0.9. And when I say finessed his way, so you said Kareem too. The reason why I didn't include Kareem is because Kareem kind of, you could see a big decline in Kareem's game once he was 40. Like his numbers definitely took a major drop. So I mean, obviously Kareem was still good. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and take a look at Kareem's numbers. So his last year, which was 88-89, he averaged, see, that's what I'm saying, major decline. 10 points, 47% from the field. Obviously, he didn't shoot threes. His free throw numbers is down. He only got 4.5 rebounds. Yeah, a block. You know what I'm saying? Major decline. He only played 22 minutes per game. Now, that's another thing, too, that matters, I would say. The minutes. Because when Kareem was still playing, a good viable amount of minutes, which is, I would say, at least 30 plus. Let's see, 33 here in 1985-86 season. He averaged 23, which is still pretty damn good. And you can see he still shot 50% from the field. 56%. Pretty good free throw numbers. Rebounding ain't too great. His rebound started taking a nosedive as he got older, as you can see. But see, the major thing that really needs to be looking at here is obviously his minutes declined a lot. He only played basically 23 minutes per game this last season. But on top of that, which is the biggest thing, is he shot 47.5, basically 48% from the field. That's a major decline because when you're a post player, typically you shoot a high percentage from the field. The fact that he's shooting under 50 as a, as a center, that's a major decline. LeBron was chasing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's record as the oldest player in the NBA. Yeah, I get that. But see, Kareem got those numbers because of how many seasons he played, and kept going. Compare that to, obviously, I'm not comparing it to LeBron because LeBron did it later. It took LeBron, 20 seasons to do it, right? 19 seasons? How many seasons did it take? And he was shooting three-pointers, and Kareem, of course, didn't take threes. So, obviously, Kareem did it in less games and less shots. Well, not less shots, less games. Probably, I'm not sure about the shots thing because, like I said, he took 2-pointers. LeBron took 3. But see, what I like to compare it on is like, how good were they when they ended their career? So if you look at Michael Jordan, he averaged 20. Let's go ahead and go to Michael Jordan's stat line real quick. So this is his final year. You see, he played 82 games, averaged 20 points per game, 44.5 on the field, 29 from 3, pretty damn bad. 82 from the free throw line is pretty good. 6 rebounds, that's pretty good. 4 assists is solid. 1.5 steals, 1.5 blocks. 0.5 blocks. Only two turnovers per game. So obviously, this is a super decline to his field goal percentage, but that's okay with him because he's a jump shooter. When you're a jump shooter, you're gonna miss more. You're not shooting 50 plus. Like through all these times where he shot 50% from the field, those were just remarkable years. Because they just a testament to his greatness. But typically, when you're a jump shooter, you're not going to shoot 50% from the field. That's why they honor and idolize the people that do the 40, 50, 90 club so much, because it's not normal to be able to shoot 50% from the field, 40% from three, and 90+% from the free throw line. Because, like I said, typically if your field goal is 50, you're a center more than likely. So when guards do it, that's just phenomenal. Now, lastly, I want to go to Karl Malone. Now, as you know, his last season, he played for the Los Angeles Lakers. He didn't do too well as far as a numbers standpoint, because he played alongside three other stars, right? So your numbers not, especially with him not being the number one option, coming from another team, going there, he's not going to be, the number one option, clearly, especially with them having Kobe at the apex. So let's more so look at his year before that, which is actually when he was 42. He's averaging 20.6 points per game. So basically, the same amount of points LeBron James is averaging right now. Field goal percentage is not too high. Gotta admit, contest to that. Obviously, he didn't shoot threes right like that, so his threes are shit. Solid from the free throw line. Pretty good for rebounding for his age. It's pretty good for assists for his size and position. Pretty stellar from a defensive standpoint as well. So the question is, see, this is where the problem lies, because they love to tell us for LeBron that when people be getting on saying, oh, the reason why he's able to accomplish some of the things he's been able to accomplish outside of him allegedly being juiced up, we know about those allegations. We also have the fact of him always load managing, and they give him a pass and say, oh, he's 41, what you expect? And then last year he's 40, what you expect? And then the year before that is he's 39, what you expect? And then before that it was he's 38, what do you expect? Basically, if you get the trend, they kept saying the same shit since he's been like 36, using the same excuse for why he's low managing, blaming it on his age, right? So I just showed you guys Michael Jordan's stats, and now we have up here Karl Malone. So he got injured in last year with the Lakers, so that's why he only played 42. Not because he was resting. He got injured. But take a look at, he was 40 in 2002-2003 season, right? Same age I was making excuses for LeBron for. He played 81 games. And the year before that, 80 games. The year before that, 81. The year before that, 82. This right here was the lockout season, so he only played 49 in this year. 99 was the lockout season. But the next full season, 81. Next before that, 82, 82, 82, 82, 82, 81, 82, 82, 80, 80, 82, 82, 81. My point is, you see how many games this nigga is playing. Now, they keep telling us that LeBron James is able to sit out and make an excuse that it's okay for him to load manage because of his age. I'm showing you guys a man who also played a bunch of games. He didn't sit out. He didn't do load management. He played all of the 80-some games. The only time he sat out if he was unable to play, just like the other greats during his time. So let's go ahead and get rid of that bullshit that they love to say for LeBron James, saying oh, he's able to load manage because of his age. It's bullshit, y'all. And like I said, I just showed you guys LeBron James's numbers. Karl Malone is averaging close to the same numbers LeBron James is averaging right now. Now, I'm not sure what the Utah Jazz record was. It probably wasn't too good, I would suspect, in 02, 03. Let's check that out. Yeah, that was pretty slow. 21 and 52. But it would make sense though. They kept their same players that was trash, and they weathered down. So you say Vince Carter and Andre Iguodala. Well, obviously, they're not in the same league as the people we're speaking of. Vince Carter played 22 seasons, but he was a shell of himself about time Vince Carter retired. So he's not in the same category of what we're talking about. All the people that I'm mentioning right now, they still was averaging 20s when they in their 20s when they was 40. And then here's the other case. LeBron James is averaging 21 points per game in the cupcake era, where any and everybody can score 20. I mean, shoot, we just got through witnessing a bomb by the name of Bam drop 80. So you know this league is some bullshit. And I ain't gonna call him a bomb. Let me not do that. But I'm just saying, we just witnessed Bam Adebayo drop 80. So that lets you know how full of crap this league now is. So during this time period in 03, 02, 03, they were scoring in the 90s, people. This is another major factor that we need to take into consideration. What were the points per game? The height, hold on. Highest points per game by teams in 2002. Oh shit, I gotta put NBA. So as you can see, the highest points per game here was 105 points. Look at the top people. 105, 104, 101, 100 points, 99. And you look at the league today, the highest points per game, which is the Denver Nuggets, they're scoring 121 points per game, people. So 20 points more than what they were scoring during Karl Malone's last season and Michael Jordan's last season. They were averaging 20. Think about this, people. So Michael Jordan averaged 20. Karl Malone averaged 20. LeBron James is averaging 21 in a league where they're averaging 120 points per game. A whole 20-point differential from the time when they was playing. So that goes to show you that if you do it by the comparison, if you throw LeBron in that time period, his 20 points per game would only be around 15 points per game, people. It's the same with his assist. Because with less possessions, because that's the reason why they're scoring much less, during the time period of Karl Malone them is because they don't have as many possessions. The pace was way slower. So if the pace is slower, there's less possessions. That means you're going to get less assists. So therefore, LeBron's 7 or 8 assists per game that he's getting right now is going to be essentially 5 to 6. It's not the same. They're manipulating you guys to believe he's the greatest 40-year-old you ever seen. It's not the truth, though. Now, him being able to dunk the way this nigga's dunking, I'll give you that. You can't argue that still. But I believe that has a lot to do with him being on that balcony, allegedly. But we just simply basing it on how well they're playing in the game. But from a numbers standpoint, because you LeBron fans love numbers. Y'all love stats. I'm showing you from a stats standpoint, it's not LeBron James. You can argue, like I said, you can argue Karl Malone. You actually can argue Michael Jordan. I know y'all love to hate to hear that. Because y'all hate Michael Jordan so much. So, Buckets, let me know. You still think of LeBron James after seeing these numbers? The fact that he's only averaging 20 points per game in a league where there's 120 points per game being scored. Now, I know another argument that LeBron fans will probably want to make, and I know you're not a LeBron fan. I'm just saying, in general, this is what LeBron fans would love to try to make a case on. LeBron fans would like to say, well, he's playing with Luka. He got to share the ball with Luka, and he got to share it with Austin Reeves. Fair enough. But here's the problem. If you're going to make it a case saying he has to share the ball with 2 players that are better than him, I would make the argument of why isn't he winning that? Why isn't he winning that championship? Because let you guys tell it, he's still a top 10, top 15 player in the league. That's what you delusional clowns be saying. So if he's still a top 15 player in the league, that means Luka, which I'll give it to him for sure, Luka is a top 5 player. And that means Austin Reeves must also be a top 15 as well. So you're telling me you got arguably 2 top 10s, which I don't think Austin Reeves is a top 10. Just letting you know. I don't think he is. He's probably, you make an argument at top 15. The problem is I don't think LeBron James is a top 20 anymore. But they want to manipulate you with the media, the stats, and the lies. That's the reason why analytics is so dangerous, which I'm going to dive deeper into on this last topic. But you say, I hate to say this, however, if LeBron James win a chip at 41, he will be the greatest 40-year-old player in the NBA. I would have to say it depends on what he does to contribute to it. But I think that's a very fair argument. I mean, because you can't just say him winning the championship could do it, because like Karl Malone made it to the finals at 40, right? So he obviously had a pretty good team, just like LeBron James have a pretty good team. They just keep lying to you when they losing to make an excuse like the reason why he's losing. But also, let's see, hold on. Because Tracy McGrady was on the Spurs, I believe, and he made it to the finals in 13. Unfortunately for him, he retired after 2013. If he would have stayed on the team for one more year, he could have got him a ring. So he was a bench warmer, basically, at that point of his career. So that's why I say it depends on what he does to contribute. But I think it's a good argument that if he wins the title and he plays a significant part, then yes. Oh, shit. So I'm gonna go ahead and head to the next one because I see a lot. It's not too much. Now we're gonna tap into Kobe and LeBron. Now, this is one that is pretty. Oh, Kenny, you just came in here. Let me ask you before I move on. Who is the greatest 40-year-old player to ever play in the NBA? I think I already know what your answer is gonna be. I don't know. You do so happen to come in doing these damn LeBron topics. So you say it's Bron and Mike. So I'm gonna introduce like I did earlier. I think we got to put Karl Malone in that conversation too. I understand that a lot of people don't like Karl Malone because he's a PDF person. We got it, but strictly talking about his career, we got to put him in that conversation. He pretty much is averaging better numbers than LeBron James at 40. When he was 40, he averaged 20 points per game as well, almost 21, just like LeBron is averaging right now. He averaged more rebounds. LeBron is averaging more assists. He averaged more steals. They average around the same amount of blocks. So you can make a very fair argument that Karl Malone could be, and honestly, I think his numbers is better, like I was just explaining, because he played in a different era where it was harder to get the points. So I think his last year, let me check that 100%, but I think Karl Malone's last year with the Jazz, he was 40. I could be wrong, but if he wasn't 40, he was like 39. So we might well say 40. So yeah, he was 39 his last year of the Jazz. He turned 40 the following year. Now, when he was with the Lakers, though, he had to share the load. He had to share the load with Shaq, Kobe, and Gary Payton. So that's the reason why his numbers then obviously, weren't the same. But if you do it when he wasn't sharing the load with them, pretty damn impressive. And like I said, during that time period, the highest scoring team in the league during that time period was the Dallas Mavericks. They averaged 105 points per game. The highest scoring team in the league now is the Denver Nuggets. They're averaging 121 points. So that shows you the difference. You can score way easier now. And Karl Malone was pretty much at 40, was putting in about a fifth of his team's points. LeBron's not even putting in an eighth of his team's points. So it's not the same, people. Kareem was Kenny just came in here, nigga. I know you saying. I don't know where is he at. Kareem was solid at 42. He was still averaging 15 with that stacked legacy. No, his last year, Kareem went down pretty bad. Kareem was only averaging like 10. And on top of that, his shooting percentage dropped pretty bad. Anyway, though, time to dive into this Kobe and LeBron. First and foremost, I need to know, is there anybody in here that believes? Well, let me ask you this. We ain't got that many people in here right now, but just give me your picks. Kobe or LeBron? Who would you take all time? Who is the better player? I think you can make a pretty fair argument that LeBron has the better career. But who is the better player? Mine says, see, like people has a lot to say when I'm not in the live. So he said Kobe. I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all know my pick is definitely Kobe. I believe Kenny is probably gonna say LeBron, but let's see. I'm going with Bron. He held my heat down. The engine said Kobe. Okay, so outside of your what might be your biasness because of the heat, excuse me, what other reasoning could you possibly have to support that LeBron is better than? Again, we're not talking about who had the better career. I would agree that LeBron has probably had the better career. And honestly, and that's only because of accolades, which I believe accolades can be misleading too, because accolades is based on how well the media likes you. And then you say he held down your heat. Did he though? He promised y'all 8 championships and only came up short by 6. He promised y'all 8 championships. Came up short by 6. He said, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7. So that means 8 championships. And he ended up getting 2 out of 4. Y'all definitely could have had 3 if he didn't choke in 2011. See, we haven't won a championship since he left. I'm gonna be thankful for those too. But this is my thing. I get it. Y'all haven't won since then. True. But my thing is, it was also other players on that team. It's not like he's the only sole reason that the Heat won. I'll never forgive for the mass shit though. Yeah. They absolutely could have. Y'all could have been 3-peated. See, LeBron messed up his legacy by losing. It's like I've seen a bunch of people talking about it today. The GOAT debate was over after 2011, and that's really the truth. It was over after 2011. So the people that keep trying to put him in categories that he doesn't belong in is just crazy. Because if he could have won in 2011, that would have been a 3-peat. Because it would have been 11, 12, and 13. If he had a 3-peat on his belt, along with being the number one, got the most points in NBA history, top 5 in rebounds, top 5 in assists, and he now doesn't have that atrocious meltdown on his resume, you could make an appealing argument that he could potentially be the greatest. But since that happened, that shit is down the drain. And then, of course, he lost a bunch of other finals after that. Wade versus Harden. I don't think that's. I mean, for me, Wade versus Harden is not even a discussion. I don't even think that's warranted a topic. If y'all think so, then cool. But yeah, I don't think. I think Dwayne Wade is the 3rd greatest shooting guard of all time. Which is just another indictment of why LeBron is so overrated. You had the 3rd greatest shooting guard of all time on your team. You claim to be the greatest of all time. And look at your finals record. It's crazy. The media only push that narrative because they have to diminish Wade in order to uplift LeBron. That's another thing. He's the only person that I know does that. Everybody that played with LeBron, they got to take a hit saying, oh, they weren't as good as you thought they were. And the reason why is because if everybody be like, damn, you had all this help, how the hell did you lose this much? Folks are gonna, automatically look at that. So they gotta, put this shit in your head that these people on his team wasn't that good, so that they can, say, oh, LeBron carried these things. That's a testament to his greatness, but it's a lie. What's up, Ali? So yeah, I don't even think Harden is the 4th greatest shooting guard. There's a couple people I'll take over James Harden. If I had to give a top 5 greatest shooting guards, in my opinion, obviously Michael Jordan is number 1. Kobe is obviously number 2. Wade is number 3. I probably would argue Allen Iverson is number 4. And then you make an argue Jerry West being number 5. So, because James Harden, he just was a great regular season player. Send the chaos. What's the question mark for? But yeah, James Harden just a great regular season player. Like, do I think he's one of the greatest shooting guards? Like, obviously top 10 level, sure. But Wade was impressive during the season, during the playoffs, during the finals. He got a Finals MVP, and Dwayne Wade excelled on both sides of the court. James Harden don't do anything on the defensive end. Who would you say is better, Tim Hardaway or Dwayne Wade? I'm gonna go with Wade. I mean, obviously Tim Hardaway was a great player, but I'm gonna go with Wade on that. Appreciate the super chat though. But yeah, back to the other one though. So with Kobe, back to Kobe and LeBron. LeBron has had way more help, despite what the media try to make you believe. I don't want to hear nothing about he had Shaq. That's bullshit. Yes, he had Shaq, but LeBron has had a bunch of other players as well. LeBron has had Wade. He's had Bosh. He had Kevin Love. He's had Kyrie. He got Luka now. Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook. A bunch of all-time greats on this thing. You said somebody deleted your question. What the hell was your question? But yeah, if you just look at them play too, Anthony Davis better than Bam. Yeah, absolutely. We know that. That's a no-brainer. But yeah, you look at them head to head. See what now? I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, so if you look at from the standpoint of who did more with less, that's clearly Kobe. Obviously, Kobe has 5 rings to his 4. Okay, so you trying to say some bull crap. That's what you're doing. But if you are Caucasian descent and you're trying to come up here to just start some bull crap, I'm pretty sure you already know the answer to that, but you on the internet on some bullshit. Anyway, though, like I said, Kobe definitely way more skilled. There's nothing on the court that you can say was Kobe's weakness. I can break down a landslide of weaknesses in LeBron's game. Like the only weakness, if you want to try to just look for shit in Kobe's game? You may because I remember when I was up here one time talking about it. Somebody tried to say Kobe's weakness is decision making. Like matter of fact, I think Young Disciple tried to say that shit. Said that Kobe's weakness was decision making because he should take a lot of bad shots, which I can agree with him on that. Kobe took a lot of bad shots, but it was more so during the time where the Lakers team didn't have as much talent and he just didn't trust his teammates at all. He was like, fuck it, I'm going to take it. I don't care what kind of shot it is. I'm telling you, if you are a person, if you know good that, but you know how this stuff is. That's what I'm saying. That's pretty much a dumb question. If you are Caucasian descent or stuff like that, or even in that area, in that region, European region area, you know that you shouldn't be calling me that shit. You know that. But hey, cool. I'm done addressing you now. You better get no more energy out of that. Anyways, hey, what episode did y'all stop on? I know y'all did 8 last night. Where y'all stop at? Anyways, the problem is that everybody. It seems like a bunch of logical people that knows the truth is in the chat right now. So we ain't really got to dive in too deep on Kobe being better than LeBron. Because I know Young Disciple don't say it before on my live and a couple. I heard him on Man Down Sports before say anybody that averaged 7 points per game ever in their career don't belong in the same sentence as them, which is insane. It really doesn't even make sense, but it is what it is. After we get done, should have dive into more of why that shit doesn't make sense. But now I need to get to the most atrocious part of this live. Bleacher Report's top 15 purest scorer list. Now this shit right here, them niggas was out of their mind. But I do understand why they came up with this. But they, at the same time, they know that this is more manipulative bullshit. Like they know that this is not the truth. So this is Bleacher Report's top 15 purest scorers. Number 1, Stephen Curry. 2, Kevin Durant. 3, Michael Jordan. 4, Joel Embiid. 5, LeBron James. 6, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. 7, George Gervin. 8, Luka Doncic. 9, overrated Jokic. 10, Kobe Bryant. 11, Giannis Antetokounmpo. 12, Kyrie Irving. 13, Shaquille O'Neal. 14, Wilt Chamberlain. And 15, Karl Malone. This list is so fucked up and wrong in so many different ways. It's insane, people. Now, as y'all know, I am a huge Stephen Curry fan. So, even I gotta say, come on, bro. Steph Curry is not the most purest scorer of all time. And the problem is they're dealing with analytics. Analytics is a lie. Analytics makes you believe something because numbers will support it but not necessarily, you know, not necessarily the truth will support it. Like I said earlier, if you look at analytics, Luka Doncic is better than LeBron James, people, in every way. Look at LeBron James' number when he first came into the league, and then look at Luka Doncic. He's crushing them at every statistical category. But see, I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys would disagree if I was to come out like a dumbass and say Luka is better than him. Look at the numbers. Because that's what y'all do. Whenever you're trying to win an argument against somebody such as Kobe, you love to point out he has better numbers. But it's bullshit. That's why I always say stop comparing errors, and stop trying to compare it based on numbers alone, because numbers don't tell the whole story. I agree. This list is absolutely clickbait, 100%. I wonder how Kobe's career would have been if he stayed with Charlotte Hornets. That's a good question, DeMarcus. So my answer to that is I believe more than likely, I think from a numbers standpoint, his career definitely would have been better. He absolutely would never have averaged 7 points per game. That wouldn't have happened. Like his rookie year, I would say he would have averaged minimum 15, if that. He probably could have cracked 20, maybe. Pause was good. So, yeah, I think his numbers would have definitely been better. Now, as far as the championships, I don't know. You know, it might not, he may not have gotten to 5. It'd be kind of hard to judge because we would have to see, you know, what supporting cast they would have put around him to see what he would have ended up with. But his overall numbers would have been better. And then keep this in mind, he would have been in the East now. So I think he would have made it to the finals a lot because the East is much weaker and it's easier to get to the finals. So if they would have gave him some help over there, yeah. And you know how they look, this media-driven narratives go. They love to praise LeBron for the 8th straight finals. So if Kobe was able to get to the final, matter of fact, I don't think LeBron gets to the finals 8 straight times with Kobe being over there. So that already stops. But his numbers would be much better because, one, he's going against weaker competition. And then on top of that, he doesn't have to play behind an all-star shooting guard. Because, you know, when he went to the Lakers, he had to play behind Nick Van Assel and Eddie Jones. Both of them were all-stars, you know, all-star caliber players. So he had to come off the bench for them. And they had a coach that didn't believe in playing a player straight from high school. But yeah, back to this bullshit ass list. Like I said, I don't agree with Steph Curry being the purest scorer. I get the reason why they put it because, like I said, from an analytics standpoint, he has the best percentages, like true shooting, offensive efficiency, and stuff like that. If by those metrics, he would be number one. I mean, he shoots, I think, 46, almost 47% from the field for his career, 44% from three, 92% from free throw line, shoots pretty high percentage from three and mid-range, you know what I'm saying? 80 shoots just overall, he makes shots at a very high level. So that's where it comes from. So I guess this what it comes down to. You would have to break down what's your definition of a pure scorer. I guess that would where it would come down to. So for me, and my criteria of what a pure scorer is how much you got in your bag to be able to get a bucket. You know what I'm saying? Like what they call a three-dimensional score. You know, that you can score from the three, you can score from the mid-range, you can score inside. Now, Steph Curry can do all three. Don't get me wrong. But mostly his game consists of threes and layups. And he doesn't have a post game. He has good footwork and stuff like that. Obviously, a very, very skilled individual. But he doesn't have a post up game. And he doesn't have that in his arsenal. Now, Kevin Durant, on the other hand, has it all. So if you want to make an argument that Kevin Durant is the most purest scorer ever, I wouldn't really fight you for it. But like I said, I guess it depends on what your definition is. Now, the greatest scorer is Michael Jordan by far. People need to stop trying to create narratives and come up with bullshit to try to say it's somebody else. Like I hear Kevin Durant's name come up, which obviously Kevin Durant is a phenomenal scorer, but how that should be compared is who put the ball in the basket the best. And when you do that and look at it from that perspective, the answer is 100% Michael Jordan. He has 10 scoring titles. He's now 6 all time in scoring because Kevin Durant just passed him this week. But look at the amount of games it took everyone else to accomplish what he did in just 13 seasons. Michael Jordan scored 32,000 points in 13 seasons. Kevin Durant just passed him, and he's in year 19. So that's 6 whole seasons, people. Basically 5 seasons, because Michael Jordan technically played 13 and a half seasons. So it took Kevin Durant 5 whole seasons to pass him. Same with LeBron James. LeBron didn't pass. He passed him quicker than Kevin Durant did, but that was more so based on durability. Like, to be fair, let me say this. Let's be fair to Kevin Durant. Because I forgot, Kevin Durant did have a few season-ending injuries. Because I know he was out for the full season, I think, in 2014? I believe it was. To the 14-15 season, I believe Kevin Durant was out. And then, of course, he had that Achilles tear in 2019 when he was with Golden State, and that put him out a whole year. So those 2 seasons took a lot of time out. So if you measure those up, instead of the 19 seasons, it would be 17. So that would be more so like 4 seasons, really 3.5. So like 3.5 seasons more in order for him to pass Michael Jordan. No, Steve Nash is not on this list. Or AI. Steve Nash isn't a scorer. Now he is one of the most number one efficient. I think if he may have been at one point, Steph Curry may have possibly passed him. But I do know at one point he was number one in efficiency shooting, number one efficient shooter, or something like that. So, but see, that's what I'm saying. Steve Nash is not a pure scorer. That's the reason why, which is what my last topic is talking about. The reason why analytics are misleading. Eddie Jones and Nick Van Assel are better than Bam too. And then it were, hey, Kenny, you hear what DeMarcus said? Eddie Jones and Nick Van Assel, they better than Bam. Glenn Rice and Glenn Robinson. Rice was a damn good shooter. I agree. T-Mac absolutely should be on this list, along with Carmelo Anthony. So let's get back to this bullshit list. Jokic did not belong anywhere on this fucking list. I don't know how the fuck they got this nigga number 9. Then got him over Kobe. The disrespect is just gotta stop. Here's the real list of what this shit should probably be. Like I said, I'm not mad if you want to say Kevin Durant is number 1. I wouldn't be mad because of how Kevin Durant scores in bunches in so many different ways and not having any weakness whatsoever in his game as far as scoring. You can make that good argument. You can make a good appealing argument that Kevin Durant can be number 1. I wouldn't be mad about it. I would take Mike over him because of how Mike scored, how much he was able to put up, the mentality. Because I've seen Kevin Durant be shut down before. I've never seen Michael Jordan get shut down. We've seen him, people made him work harder and maybe had a bad game, but just lock him down for a series? No, we've never seen it. In fact, I've never seen nobody just straight up lock Steph Curry down. I mean, I guess you can maybe argue 2016. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, it's way too early for him to be on this list, in my opinion. Well, not way too early, but I think it's too early. I don't think Donovan Mitchell belongs on this list. But for sure, Jokic, I got to go back to that nigga. Jokic, how the fuck are you on this list? It's crazy. Replace Jokic with T-Mac or Melo. That's also, see, and for the, I'm trying to, hold on, let me look. Who said AI? The reason why AI not on the list is because AI wasn't very efficient. That's what they're looking at. That's the same reason why Kobe Bryant is number 10, because of efficiency. That was Miles. So yeah, it's efficiency. The reason why AI is not on the list. Kevin Durant played over 100 more games than MJ. Damn. See, I never checked that, Paul. That's great. That's a good take. I'm glad you put that out there. So see, that's the shit I'm talking about. This is why analytics, you can't believe it. This is why. See, yeah. So Miles, you saying about the 3-level score? That's my definition. I'm not saying that's what Bleacher Report is going with. Bleacher Report, I believe they're going with the analytics standpoint, meaning efficiency. How efficient they were from the field. Free throws and all that stuff factors in. You ain't lying, Mr. Cuban, because that Houston game we just watched not too long ago, like what 2 weeks ago when they were playing the Lakers, and all they was doing was just trapping Kevin Durant. They were locking his shit up. I'm like, bro, this is crazy. Yeah, I agree. Michael Jordan, yeah, he got the highest points per game ever and the most scoring titles. That's why I say he's unquestionably the greatest scorer in my opinion. But that's why I was breaking it down. What do you consider to be a pure scorer? That's why I said that's what it comes down to when they say pure scorer. I agree Giannis should not be on this list as well. Absolutely. Then they got Karl Malone, number 15, the third greatest, the third leading scorer of all time. Kyrie is a goddamn bucket. He should be higher, perhaps. Definitely should be over Nikola Jokic. I'm still stuck on that. Yeah, I am. Fucking Nikola Jokic don't belong out here. I ain't gonna lie, I don't know much about Sean Elliott. I would define it as a 3-level scorer. They might be weighing in dominant scores too. Yeah, I agree. And that's what my definition would be. The 3-level score situation. But this dude, but yeah, it's just another tactic for them to, try to attack Kobe. That's what I think this all boils down to. They want to get the people mad at. I told y'all they've been sliding in mind since he passed away. And yeah, never been a Melo fan, but instantly I thought in my head he should be on this list. But yeah, so I'm gonna head down to this last little one, last topic of the day. And that's breaking down more so of why analytics analytics are very misleading. Boston George said Kobe led the playoffs in scoring 3 years in a row, '08 to 2010. This has never happened again. Oh, I agree with you. Kobe, in my opinion, you can't argue that Kobe is less than three. Only two people I think you can argue are better scorers. Like, and like I said, it goes back to what's your definition of a pure scorer to be. Um, it would be Michael Jordan, Kevin Durant, Kobe. I'm not saying that order, but I'm just saying to me those are top three. Then you can start, thinking about who you want to put after that. Like Steph, I think Steph belongs in the top 10. Perhaps you can even argue the top 5 because of the efficiency metrics of it. But like, what do I think of the MVP rankings? Shout out to my boy Detroit Kings. Karl Malone should be 11. Yeah, arguably could be in the top 10. So Kenny said, KD, MJ, Kobe, T Mac, Kyrie, Curry, Luca, Bird, Melo, Dame. You lose me at Dame. You lose me at Dame. So far your list is kind of cooking for me. I could rock with it. I don't know how Dame gets number 10. This nigga, hold on. Hakeem, Dirt, Joel, Pierce, then Joe Johnson. This nigga got Joe Johnson in it. And I get it. ISO Joe was a motherfucker, but nah. But I'll take your list way before I take what Bleacher Report just put out. Bleacher Report on some real strong shit right now. But hold on, my bad, Miles. You said, what do I think of the MVP rankings? So I haven't looked at it again. I think I heard somebody say that Wemby got in front of him as of recent. And I guess it's got something to do with them losing to Boston, but Shea still had a pretty good game, so I don't understand why that puts Wemby ahead of him. But let me look at it. Yeah, they got Wemby number 1 right now. I think this is some politics shit going on because I don't understand why he jumps ahead of him. For me, Shea is still the MVP. And I think, and I'm still upset that I think Jaylen Brown is higher than what they got him. They got him number 5. And you ask me, Jaylen Brown should be minimum number 3. Only ones I'm taking over Jaylen Brown right now in the MVP race is Luke. I mean, not Luke. Shea and Wemby. In 2007, Pau Gasol has the worst record in the league. In 2008, Gasol was once again leading the Grizzlies to the worst record in the NBA. Really? I don't know about that. That's kind of crazy. What did I think of LaMarcus Aldridge? I thought LaMarcus Aldridge was a solid player. Kobe still won the championship with the 57th leading scorer in the NBA in Pau Gasol in 2010. Yeah, Kobe didn't need a whole lot to win. In terms of pure scoring, Joe was nice, and he's top 50 in so. Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you something that I don't really see Dame do a whole lot that a lot of these other players have in their game. And that's the off-ball play. Dame's scoring is mostly consistent of off the dribble. Michael Jordan was phenomenal off the ball. Steph is phenomenal off the ball. Kyrie proved that he could. Um, Kobe was phenomenal off the ball too. If you played in the triangle offense, you were good off the ball. Period. I think they want to give it to Shea. They might stop him from repeating too. They don't. I don't think they want to give it. Yeah, that's what I think too. Like I said, it's a lot of politics in the NBA. They pick and choose who they want to win shit. And I think you're right. They don't want to give it to Shea again. So they're looking for someone to give it to. So, and then keep in mind, Shea just came out with a quote saying they know who the real MVP is. And then look at the shit this nigga Wemby been saying, advocating for himself to be it. Kind of sounding like Joel Embiid a couple of years ago when he was trying to get MVP. And to me, if you are the MVP, you shouldn't have to ask to be the MVP. Just let everybody know you the MVP. It's just to get the gamblers to vote on Wemby. They did the same with Luka last week. True, Kareem's down the list as well, bro. It's great. It's crazy as hell. So the reason why I don't have Shaq in the top 5, that's why I said we're talking about pure scoring. And like I told you, my definition of pure scorers would be like we was talking about the 3-level scorers. Shaq obviously only could pretty much score inside the paint. If you can, even though it was hard as a motherfucker to keep him out of that paint, if you are somewhat successful at stopping him from dominating in the paint, you stop him, essentially. The other players, that's not the case with. They can find other ways to beat him. Like if Michael Jordan, Kobe, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, all these players, if they don't have it going with their jump shot or whatever their bread and butter is, let's say they can't get to the rim for Mike and Kobe, and let's say even their mid range isn't falling the way it normally would, they can still use them being a threat to their advantage and get to the line. Shaq can't do that because, for one, he doesn't have a mid-range shot, and he can't draw fouls because he doesn't want to go to the line because he's a bad free throw shooter. Yeah, sure, but I'm not gonna knock him for that. Harden and Luka both ball dominant too. And if you pay attention, I don't have neither one of them in my top 5 either, especially Harden. At least Luka has proved that what he's doing, he can also do it in the playoffs. James Harden has yet to prove that yet. I agree with you on Luka with him not being able to play off the ball and take a lot of time off the clock. Absolutely. He's only effective with the ball in his hands, which to me is a knock. That's why I don't have him top 5. Perhaps he can get in that top 10 because I mean, let's be real, that Joker score, he's scoring the bunches. Like that dude be putting up buckets. speaking of analytics, what do you pay the attention to the most? Bro, to be honest with you, I'm not tied into that analytics bullshit too much because I think it's all bullshit. I mean, I think it should matter to a degree, but they pay attention to it too much. Like analytics are telling you that you should shoot the three more. Basically, they're telling you just threes and layups. That's the reason why they keep saying how the mid range is a lost art in the NBA game now. You know, because very few shoots the mid range now. But if you pay attention, the best scorers are people who shot the mid range very well. You got certain outliers that defies those rules. Like even Steph Curry, even though obviously we know he's pretty much universally known as the greatest shooter the NBA has ever seen. He even shoots the mid range very well. He just doesn't shoot it as much because from his standpoint, it makes sense for him to shoot more threes because he makes them at such a high rate that if you can get 3 points instead of 2 and you're shooting that higher percentage, you should do it. But that doesn't mean the rest of the league should follow and do the same thing. That's where the problem lies. Because let's look at the greatest scorers we've ever seen. Michael Jordan, he excelled at the mid-range. Kobe Bryant excels at the mid-range. Kevin Durant, also phenomenal at the mid-range. Shit, Allen Iverson, pretty good. Good. Well, I ain't gonna say he wasn't excellent at the mid-range, but you know he could shoot it. He could get to the rack pretty damn well. Shit, T-Mac, hell, who else? Dirt. Y'all get my point. My point is people who is really good at the mid-range are the top scorers for the most part. And then the other ones pretty much consist of really dominant centers. Who do you think played better with Shaq? Kobe, Dwayne Wade, or LeBron? Well, we know it ain't LeBron. I mean, we gotta say Kobe. He won 3 titles with the dude. Granted, he was older when he played with both Wade and LeBron, but off topic, what's your thoughts on expansions teams? So, you know, I kind of low key agree with T-Mac to a degree. They don't have enough talent to be trying to expand. I know a lot of people believe that he do, but that's the younger generation that don't know anything about real talent. They just think, oh, because they can dribble, they can do more dribble moves and they can shoot threes better. That automatically means they're better, but it's not. It's not as entertaining for one thing. And let's be real, the NBA now, you know the players, you know the top players on the best teams for the most part, unless they are legend. You know what I'm saying? Like Steph Curry's team is the 10th seed right now, but you know players on there because they were legends. But the rest of the teams, bro, like Washington Wizards and shit like that, bro, you can't really name Utah Jazz. I mean, you can name a few on there, but for the most part, you can't name any players from those teams. So if you struggling to want to watch these teams that we already have and know the players of these teams, why the fuck do you think it's a good idea to expand to add two more teams? And I think they're saying the format that they're going to do is they're going to add free agents from other teams or some shit. Like you can't sign them. I think you can hold on to 8 players or something like that. I forgot exactly what the rules that they were saying they were going to do with it. But my point is, bro, I mean, I'm not excited about it. It doesn't change anything. If anything, you ask me, it makes the league weaker. Now, you can understand why the NBA would want to do it from their standpoint because it's more money for them. But from a fan standpoint, I don't think it's a good thing. Who do you think played better with Shaq, Dwayne Wade, Kobe, or Penny Hardaway? Still Kobe. He had the most success with him. And speaking of Shaq, a lot of the media, that of course, aka LeBron supporters, love to paint this picture that Shaq carried Kobe. But if you pay attention to Shaq's career, he's been swept the most of all the top players. No other player that's a top 10 caliber player has been swept as much as Shaq has. Shaq was always getting swept. Shaq has actually played with some pretty talented teams. Like you just said, he had Penny in his early days, couldn't win with it. Then he got Kobe, he did win. Then he got Shaq, he won. But see, here's the thing. He wasn't able to win with Penny, and undoubtedly Shaq was the number one option, right? Then you move on to the Lakers. They won their first one in 2000. I would say it's fair to say Shaq was the best player on the team. But after that, 01, a very strong argument can be made that Kobe was the best player. And here's the thing. I think Shaq needed Kobe just as much as Kobe needed him, if not more. Because look at history. When he didn't have a player that was better than him on his team, he lost. Penny wasn't better than him. He lost. When he had Van Nassau and Nick Van Nassau and Eddie Jones, who were pretty good players, they were getting swept. It wasn't until Kobe emerged that they were starting to win championships. And then when he moved to Miami, Dwayne Wade was better than him. They won the championship. And then he moved with Cleveland. Me personally, I don't think LeBron plays well with any big. It just doesn't work because LeBron needs the lane open. But to be fair, Shaq wasn't the same as he was when he played with, Wade, Kobe, and Penny. I like the expansion. More teams gives younger guys more opportunities to stay in the league and gives vets more opportunities to keep jobs. Now, if you look at it from that standpoint, I can agree with you on that. Yeah. It does absolutely open more jobs up. But I'm speaking from a production standpoint on how good I think it's going to be. I don't think it's a good thing. I actually think Shaq played better with Penny Hardaway than Kobe. Would you be upset if Kevin Durant ended his career with the Super? Nah, why would I be mad about that? That's the team that drafted him. They'll kind of be poetic. I definitely see Kevin ending his career in Seattle and LeBron with Cleveland. Makes sense, I guess. And then Seattle don't have no skin in the game to be mad at Kevin Durant because he didn't leave them. He left Oklahoma City. And technically, Kevin Durant got drafted by, Seattle. Oklahoma drafted Russell Westbrook because it was rumors of them always saying that Oklahoma City's front office used to treat Russell Westbrook better than, like, he was their primary. That's who they were catering to the most, or more so, I guess you can say. And if you think about it, that Russell Westbrook was their baby. They drafted Russell Westbrook. They didn't draft, at least Oklahoma City didn't draft Kevin Durant. Yeah, Boss is considered a big man, and he also didn't play well with LeBron. That's why I be telling people, when LeBron plays with these players, that's considered a good big or something like that. You notice they always start shooting threes more. They have to be able to shoot threes, and the reason being is because LeBron needs you out of the paint. Chris Bosh used to be a post player. That's how he was able to excel with the rebounding department. The same can be said for Kevin Love. That's why Kevin Love was a monster on the boards, because he played in the post where you can get the rebounds. If you're at the three-point line trying to shoot threes like LeBron wants you to do, because like I keep saying, he needs the lane open, then it's harder to get rebounds. Anyways, though, good people, I think I'm about to get ready to close out this one. Prepare for some other. Probably about to do some more videos and shit. But appreciate everybody to stop through and fuck with me on these little topics. And I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one. Might do one tonight. I gotta see, because it's possible I might have an engagement that I gotta attend later. So stay tuned. I'll let y'all know probably in the Discord and in the community, because I know everybody not in the Discord, but stay tuned.